one of the fastest growing energy sources in the world, wind energy is clean, local, sustainable, creates jobs, and is an abundant and inexhaustible source of domestic energy. CERI's Fire Island Wind Project began commercial operation on September 24, 2012. Over the last decade, through a long-term power purchase agreement with Chugach Electric Association, the project's 11 wind turbines have supplied energy to over 7,000 homes in south-central Alaska.
Fire Island Wind is really important to this community. It was the first wind project ever built in the Alaska Rail Belt, and it's out there in a location where everyone can see it. Sometimes it is the very first thing that they see on their approach into Anchorage, and it really is a symbol of what CERI can do as a developer of energy projects, as a company that supports clean energy, and as a community, because we've worked with so many different companies to make that project come to fruition.
Located on CERI-owned land 3 miles off the coast of Anchorage, Fire Island Wind was conceived of in the late 1990s when officials realized they needed to diversify the rail belt's power supply.
You have to go back in history. At the time, Fire Island Wind was a thought back in the early or the late 90s, however you look at it. And there was a known wind resource, and then you couple that with declining gas and some rolling gas outages or fear of gas outages. And you add to it that green energy was on the horizon. And CERI had this magnificent land base 3 miles offshore to Alaska's largest city. And you put that all together and it made for a project.
A wind project the size and scope of Fire Island Wind had never been attempted in Alaska. Its remote location with no existing infrastructure near one of the busiest airports in the world would require the work and support of a community of dedicated people and organizations.
Another reason why CERI invested in Fire Island Wind is because it's consistent with our mission-driven vision, which is to utilize our lands to generate economic and social returns for our shareholders.
We had many people in the community that were supportive of Fire Island. In fact, we held community meetings and engagement with the community that helped us with our permitting processes. And the community came out in a huge way to support the project and say, this is what we want, this is the future.
Developing and constructing the Fire Island Wind Project involved nearly 100 businesses, most of which were based in south central Alaska. It brought a new industry into the region, generating jobs and revenue for CERI and other regional businesses, along with a diversified power source.
Hi, my name is Christopher Jimenez. I've been the operations manager for CERI for almost 5 years now. I handle the logistics and resources in order to make sure that we have all of this equipment and material in order to perform maintenances and to keep Fire Island Wind running. Fire Island Wind is important to me because I feel that it's a symbol to the local area, proving that renewable energy is a viable source of power to offset natural gas consumption and to reduce our carbon footprint.
The project consistently performs well, averaging 98% availability over a calendar year, an impressive percentage by industry standards. In 2016, Fire Island Wind was named by General Electric as one of the top 4 wind energy projects in the United States.
Well, I think Fire Island Wind represents a lot of CERI's values. I would start with excellence. Every part of that project, we try to utilize best practices. So whether it's the way that we operate, the way that we constructed it, the people that work to keep the turbines running, and certainly within our company, every corner of CERI's company has been involved in the construction and the operations.
When I think about CERI's values, they're values not only for today, but they're values for tomorrow. And they were the values of our Alaska Native people since the beginning of time.
CERI has the capacity to expand Fire Island Wind potentially tripling the energy produced on the island. Expanding the project helps Alaska meet its renewable energy goals and increases the diversification of the rail belt's energy sources, all from Alaska's abundant renewable wind resource.
Well, clean energy is the future. And for Anchorage, when you think of Fire Island Wind and it's powering over 7,000 homes, and to think that Fire Island is that first step towards clean, renewable energy in this community, that's huge. We are hopeful for the future that there's more turbines out on the island spinning and providing more power to not only businesses, but our community and our homes.
10 years of innovation, of collaboration, of living our values each and every day. Together, we have come a long way. And in other ways, the journey is just beginning.